Robotron 2084 was released by Williams Electronics in 1982 and instantly became an arcade classic, grabbing hold of all audiences throughout the nation. Developed by Eugene Jarvis and Larry DeMar, two of the brightest minds behind some of pinball and arcade's greatest hits, this game includes some of the most innovative enemy and gameplay designs the industry had seen yet. Today, I'm going to dive into my personal opinions and thoughts about Robotron. To start off, when you approach the cabinet, the tale of this world is told. Inspired by his never-ending quest for progress, in 2084, man perfects the Robotrons, a robot species so advanced that man is inferior to his own creation. Guided by their infallible logic, the Robotrons conclude the human race is inefficient and therefore must be destroyed. You are the last hope of mankind. Due to a genetic engineering error, you possess superhuman powers. Your mission is to stop the Robotrons and save the last human family. I want to start off with difficulty, because Robotron is built to be an intentionally difficult game. If you've ever played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Fortunately for the player, the skill curve is excellently executed, introducing new enemies and mechanics as stages go forward, with the more difficult enemies starting to appear as you get further in the game. The first stage only has you facing off against grunts and electrodes, the simplest enemies, and then quickly devolves into madness with hulks and those little spheroids flooding the screen with enforcers. And as soon as you slightly get used to the chaos, it throws you into Wave 5 with an introduction that feels like seeing a boss health bar fade onto the screen. Even better, it turns the one thing that doesn't kill you, the human family, into heat-seeking missiles. Brains also send lasers that twist in ways that you can't shoot at, so it just is chaos. You then get a slight break until quarks and tanks are introduced, which turns the screen into bouncing projectile vomit if you're not quick enough. After you're introduced to all the enemies, certain waves moving forward are special waves, with grunt waves, brain waves, tank waves, and Hulk waves acting as consistent challenges moving forward. Given the complexity and the number of enemies, the difficulty and learning curve of this game are incredibly well executed, both being a 4 out of 5 for me. The game slowly introduces you to the different mechanics, but ramps up at just the right pace to be fun. When mastered, you can loop the game indefinitely, achieving true hero status when reaching Wave 255. The developers thought this through though, letting players achieve extra lives consistently to continue their playtime, along with hard coding each wave up to Wave 40, which then repeats 21 through 40 until the game resets. One of the reasons the player is able to achieve this level of gameplay is the masterpiece of the control scheme. Jarvis and DeMar opted to have the player use a dual joystick setup, with the left joystick being used for movement and the right joystick being used to fire. This created a playstyle where the player was completely in control, enhanced with snappy and precise movement. No matter what situation the game puts you in, you have the tools necessary to outmaneuver and shred your way through the endless waves of enemies. Another aspect Robotron shines in is its audio. The game has an insanely good soundscape, with every sound being crisp, crunchy, and deep. Every shot of the player sounds like an 8-bit freight train. Every Robotron you destroy punches through and feeds the adrenaline. The screams of the enforcers and the low static of tanks throw you into a state of panic, and all the while the screams of the family that you're supposed to protect overpower everything else. When you clear a wave, you're assaulted by a tune that prepares you for utter chaos. Then Wave 5 comes, signaling the brain uprising. When you finally achieve hero status, the game taunts you with a tune as if to say, "Better luck next time!" but if you were able to obtain the top spot, your victory would be heard through the arcade. Everything mentioned before creates a gameplay loop that is insanely difficult, but insanely fun. Every moment is a clustered mess of sprites, noise, and attention that you are somehow able to pull apart in your mind and make sense of. For those reasons, I give Robotron an overall score of 4.3 out of 5. Personally, I think this game is a fantastic addition to every arcade catalog out there, and is one of my favorites for that balancing of skill and difficulty. Personally, I think this is a great litmus test for any arcade game or game today that wants to accomplish difficulty with the reward for getting better at the game and continuing to play it over and over, even when it is brutally difficult. When you have something as successful as Robotron, it's bound to have an impact on the future in various ways, including follow-up twin-stick shooter games such as Smash TV, also designed by Eugene Jarvis, and Total Carnage, which is another brutal shoot-'em-up twin-stick, but also spinning off and creating an entire church of Robotron for people that were dedicated to the game. This project is incredibly cool. I highly recommend you go check it out online. It's just a wild experience. In conclusion, everything we talked about today, from the audio to the sprites to the difficulty and reward of the game, make it one of the best of all time. Every other arcade game, I believe, should be compared to Robotron in these categories to be determined whether it is fun and worth the playtime. For me, if I ever see this machine in an arcade, I instantly sink at least 10 quarters into it to get that playtime and get the experience out of it. Playing this on an analog machine also is an experience that controllers just can't replicate. Even though it's good, play this on a regular machine when you can. But with all that being said, if you have any stories or comments about Robotron that you'd like to share, please drop it in the comments. I'd love to take a look at them. With that, I appreciate you all watching. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.